Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, September 19th, and it is time for Lunch with Lori. Today on this class, I'm going to be featuring the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle. At first, I thought, oh, this is not so bad, and now I've decided that I really like it. Today, I'm going to be pairing it with the Garden Walk Designer Series paper, and I'll show you that in just a second. But the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle has a punch and a stamp set, and it is actually a sneak peek of the bundle will be fully released for the January to June mini catalog in the spring, but is being released a little early in honor of World Card Making Day, and this will be one of the bundles that is featured in the World Card Making Day event on October 7th. So if you've signed up for that, that is a free event sponsored by Stampin' Up. And so this is one of the bundles that they'll be using. So I'm giving you a little bit of a sneak peek even earlier than that today. So we're going to be using 3 of the stamp sets, or the stamps, not the stamp sets. And I'm going to show you the Garden Walk Designer Series paper. And at first that was definitely probably not my favorite. But I've kind of decided I like it too. So I'm learning some lessons that even if you think you don't like something at first, then maybe you will as time goes on, or you see somebody make something that you like. And these are just I'll show you the front sides first. Mossy Meadow, Poppy Parade, Calypso Coral, Lost Lagoon, Wild Wheat. Wild Wheat is one of the new in colors that has been kind of a color that is not the most favorite of everyone, but it's coming around in small doses. It's okay. And those are the front sides of the Garden Walk paper, and it matches a different bundle. And then the backs are more solid. So the green, the Mossy Meadow would be a perfect background for a male birthday card. The Pretty Peacock birthday. These could be used for any occasions, and it pretty much uses all of the more solid versions of the papers that are on the front. So let's get to the cards for today. We're going to be making 3 cards. And as I've mentioned before, and it's been a while since we've had an online class, if you place a $35 order after watching this class, you will get the cards. The 3 cards that we make, you'll be getting those card kits in the mail. If you place a $50 order, you will get the cards in the mail along with a package of the Blooming Pearls. That almost sounds like something my mom would have said when I was a kid. Get those bloomin' shoes out of here. So these are the Bloomin' Pearls. There's Gold, Mossy Meadow, Pretty Peacock, and Petal Pink, I believe. So we're going to be using those today. So if you place a $50 order, you'll be getting a package of those as well. And if you spend $100, you will get the card kits, but you will also get $20 in free merchandise. And that is my special right now, the Viva Mexico special. So as I'm trying to earn the incentive trip to Mexico. So let's get started. The first card we're going to make is a fun fold. Get my supplies. All right, so it's a 4 1/4 by 11-inch card base that I've actually cut 1 1/4 inches off of the end. So here's my card base, and that'll be folded over. Just let me go this way. All right, so you can see that there's a space. The white piece will go in here in just a minute so that you have space to write, but I'm not going to glue that down yet. I want to show you the DSP. The DSP I cut at 4 by 5 1/4. No, I didn't. I cut that at 4 by 5. 4 by 5, sorry, I'm telling you lies. 4 by 5, but as you can see, it doesn't fit. We're going to put one piece on the right-hand side. So to make the pattern match, I cut a 4-inch panel, and then I'm going to cut 1 inch off of one side. Let me scoot that back so you can see. There we go. 1 inch off of the right side. So that leaves a 4x4 square and the 1 inch. And the reason that I didn't just randomly cut a 4x4 square or a 4x4 and then a 1 inch strip is so that when we put these on the card, they will actually line up and match. So you can mat these if you so wish. I'm just going to go ahead and put them directly on the panel. I have a brand new seal that's taken a second to get started. If you're watching, let me know where you are. If you're in the United States, you can absolutely place that order to get. All right, so I want to look at this and make sure that I'm lined up in the right spot, because that's not right. This is like a little puzzle. I forgot. I turned my paper, so I forgot which way I was going. It's this way. There we go. All right. So we're going to put down our designer series paper. Typically I use liquid glue for designer series paper, but I actually set it aside. And all right, then I close the front and glue the other panel on the outside edge of this card. I'm going to use the glue this time. The reason I like the liquid glue, the multi-purpose glue, mostly people call it the green glue, is that it allows for a little bit of wiggle room. If you use a tape runner, you can't really move your paper after it's attached, but if you use the liquid glue, then it has a little bit of wiggle room. So we'll do that, and then we'll go ahead and put this piece in the inside. I didn't stamp anything on the inside today. I'm gonna leave that blank so that you have plenty of room to write. Just inside, and it's 4x4, which is the same size as the DSP on the front. So if it's perfectly underneath there, then we're going to stamp the outline. And this stamp set has 2 different outlines. I'm just going to use one today. I'm just going to use the little polka dots just for the ease of not having to switch back and forth. We're just going to stamp the outline. And that's in Lost Lagoon ink. And then our words, we're gonna make darker. Gonna make it pretty peacock. We're just gonna center that in the middle. Hopefully I can see this because I'm sitting down. All right, then we will use the punch. Punch that. I like punches. They're so easy to use. You don't have to have any special equipment. You just use the punch and you go on from there. All right, so then all of my ladies who come to my classes know that bow tying is not my forte. We have 3 boys, so bow tying was not my favorite. So a lot of times I will just, it looks like a bow, but I actually just take a ribbon, wrap it around my fingers a couple of times. Doesn't even have to, like this. Oh, my scissors. Uh-oh. There they are. Almost lost them. There we go. And the easiest thing that I find, this one's a little long. Let me make this a little shorter. It's kind of like wadding it up on the back, sort of. All right, the easiest thing I find is to place it where I want it on the back. Then I turn it over and I use a piece of Scotch tape. And Scotch tape seems to, for me, be the easiest way to attach ribbon on the back of a sentiment piece. A lot of people use their liquid glue, some people use dimensionals, but that way it just stays. And then I'm going to use dimensionals. Oh my goodness, where are my dimensionals? I thought I had everything here. had them in my hand and I left them on the other table. And most of you probably know dimensionals come in two sizes. There are the regular dimensionals and there are the mini dimensionals. Each one has their own purpose. I prefer the big ones when the panel that I'm going to pop up is bigger, but they can also be cut in half to be put in smaller spaces, and those backs go everywhere. All right, and then we're just going to put that on the front like that. Then we're going to add some pearls, and for this one, I'm going to use the gold pearls, the gold bloomin' pearls. And those are random. You can put those wherever you'd like. Typically, you'll use an odd number, and sometimes if I think about it too much, so don't overthink the placement of your gems. Just go ahead and put those down. I've got an extra adhesive there. Just put those on your card, and there you have it. Kind of a fun fold with pretty paper, and your recipient will be super happy. All right, and anyone who comes to my classes also knows that I can't tie bows, but they also know that my least favorite color in the whole history of Stampin' Up! Was more mustard. And I know that I'm not the only one, but I also know that many people liked it. So today, I'm going to use the equivalent, and I've decided actually that this card does not scare me as much as I thought it would. This is still from the Garden Walk paper, and what I did for this one, I'll set that aside. I used a wild wheat base, and then I'm going to use the Designer Series paper. We're going to do a little fun with that as well on a mat, and then we're going to wrap this ribbon around. So for the paper, it has a wild wheat stripe on the background. We are going to cut off 2 inches, and you can decide whether you want to cut off the top or the bottom. I'm going to cut off the bottom, I think. It's cut at 4 by 5, and I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this end, whichever end, it doesn't matter. And it won't matter if they line up. We're going to glue one piece down straight with the flowers showing. All right. If you're watching, let me know. Do you like the new wild wheat in color, or is it not one of your favorites? My favorite new in color, I think, is Pebbled Path. I think that's the most versatile one that I like so far. But I also like the Boho Blue. Boho Blue is the pretty one, and Pebbled Path is the one that I just like. All right, so we're gonna flip it over, and on the back side is the coordinating paper. So we're gonna put the glue on the other side for this one. All right, and we're gonna glue that down. So it's still the complete piece, it's just half of it is flipped over. But then we have this little seam, and we don't necessarily want this little seam to show. So we are going to cut, by the magic of TV, just about a 5-inch strip of the wild wheat ribbon, and we're going to put it across. And again, I'm going to use Scotch tape because that seems to be the easiest for me. Start it on one end, put it on the back, tape it down, and then pull it taut across and tape down the other side. The ugly tape ends will not show. All right, then, I didn't fold it in half. Fold your card base. You can either dimensional this or you can do it flat. I'm going to dimensional it because sometimes when there's ribbon on the back and it adds bulk, it won't fully lay flat. All right, so put some dimensionals on that. needed some sympathy cards lately, so I decided to go ahead and use the sympathy words in this set for a card today. Next week, if you're local to St. Louis, I have a Birthdays Galore class. We'll be making 8 cards that day, and I'm actually going to use the Eat Cake stamp out of this bundle as another preview next week. All right, so we've got that part. And we're going to take some wild wheat scraps. Use Mossy Meadow ink because this is Mossy Meadow. I had to ink up my Mossy Meadow ink pad this morning because it was so dry. All right, we're going to stamp with Sincere Sympathy. These are photopolymer stamps, so you can easily see where to punch and where to stamp. All right, then I'm going to take the little leaf stamp, and I'm going to add just a little leaf, maybe in the corner. So it's not too much, just a little touch of green. And then I also have a white panel for the inside of my card because sometimes when you use a darker color, it's hard to see. So I'm just going to put a little leaf or two in the corner just to add a little bit of to the inside as well before I put it down. All right, so we'll put that down. It's a beautiful, excuse me, I have had a frog in my throat for over a month now and I can't seem to get rid of it. All right, so we've got our leaves on the inside and then we have our sentiment. And I'm going to put these on the top and the bottom because on this ribbon will cause it to not stick as well. Then we're going to add, what color should I add? I think I'm going to add the green. I'm going to add the green gems. Let's see. Go ahead. One there. One there. One there. Oop. All right, so there's my card. Now another thing that you can do to fancy up your cards is decorate your envelope. We could, I closed my ink, but we could easily put a little leaf on the outside of our envelope. A lot of my ladies like to decorate their envelopes. It's just as fancy as the card on the inside. But another extra special thing that you can do is take your DSP. This one I cut is just the extra piece from the strip that I cut off. This one has a direction on the pattern, so be careful with those flowers. And we're going to put glue on our envelope flap. Just doesn't have to be a ton, and you can choose either way. And we're going to put a strip of paper onto our envelope. Mine's just a smidge short, so I'm going to move it away from the fold and glue it down. I would suggest putting the glue onto the envelope flap just so you know where the paper will stick, and then just trim around the outside. Just with your paper snips. And if you get a little crazy on the envelope, nobody will notice. And then you have a fancy envelope flap that matches your card. Super fun, super easy, and it just elevates it another step. All right, how are we doing? Anybody loving the garden walk paper, or are you still a little uncertain? What do you think? All right, last card for today. It's going to use the punch to punch out some designer series paper. And you could use this punch with any designer series paper that you have, and make whatever pattern with it that you'd like. So I have half of a hexagon left. I'm going to hang on to that, and then I'm going to punch 3 others. Hopefully my paper is enough. Now I have to get another sheet. If you trim like this, you can get in closer to the other pieces. I think it'll work. You can move over as far as we can. And I need one more. Hopefully this works. Oh. But you know what? It won't matter. We will use this one. If we were using the whole hexagon, it would be a little off, but since we are going to let one go off the edge, we've got plenty of space. All right. Not sure I'm happy with that. Let's just use another sheet of paper and cut a 4th one. All right. Now we have all of those cut. Then we're going to punch and stamp the words. I'm going to use that same polka dot edging with the Lost Lagoon ink. On a white scrap. And then I'm going to take Poppy Parade ink and stamp the words in the middle. So you've got that. Poppy Parade and Lost Lagoon are a good color combination. We're sending you lots of love and hugs. Punch that. And I put my stamp on the block this morning. I think I stretched the polymer just a little bit, so the shape is a little bit wonky. It's the story of my life. Everything's a little bit wonky. All right, so when I get my white, I'm going to put my sentiment piece in about the spot that I think I want it. It doesn't have to be exact. And then I'm going to lay the other pieces down around it. Let's see, let's go this way. And it all fits together, and there's no right or wrong to how it fits. Uh-oh, look at this. We have stripes going different directions. Does that bother me? Maybe. What do you think? Does that look okay, or does that look weird? I feel like that might look a little weird. Does anybody have any opinions on that? I think my stripes all need to be going the same direction. All right, we'll try this again. So, moral of that story is to make sure that you have the punch going the right direction, so that all of your stripes are the same. The flowers don't necessarily matter, but the stripes do. There. I think that's better. I think that makes me happier. All right, so we'll just lay that there, and then we're going to start gluing all of these designer series paper hexagons to get on. Keep in mind where it's going to be on your paper, so that you don't put glue over the whole piece. You just want to put it over the part that's going to be on the actual panel. So you have one, and you're going to build from there. All right. I'm trying to decide which color pink this is on the paper. It doesn't actually have any pink listed, so I'm not sure what pink that is intended to be. I haven't put it next to Bubble Bath, and I'm not sure that it is Petal Pink because Petal Pink is more of a peach color. And last one. I just started and then went outward from the sentiment piece with about the same spacing. Then my sentiment piece, I'm going to just pop up on dimensionals, although I'm not going to glue it, put it down yet, so that I can flip it over and trim my pieces. All right, so we have this. Oops, I got my glue a little too far. All right, so we've got it glued. We're just going to flip it over, and we're going to trim these edges off along the back side of that white panel. Just along the edge. Okay. Keep that sticky piece separate. All right, so then you have the panel with the hexagons kind of stacked. Then we will glue down the white panel, being careful not to get in my glue that I just made a mess with. Alright, and I did a thin border on the Poppy Parade panel because I didn't want it to be in your face red. I just wanted a little bit around the edges. Actually, it's easier to glue if you go ahead, before you put your dimensional pieces on, so that way they're not lumpy in the middle and keeping your cardstock not sticking together. All right, I used a thick white base, 4 1/4 by 11. When I have a thick white base, I usually score it with my scoring blade on my trimmer or my scoreboard so that it's easier to fold. Sometimes the thick white does not fold as nicely as I would like it to. All right, then we're going to go ahead and put our sentiment piece on. I got a little glue on my finger, and it got on my white panel. So then we're going to have the panel in the middle, and then I think, since I don't really know which color pink that is, I'm going to go ahead and use the pink gems to bring out the pink on this card. Use a little eraser to take that glue off on that edge. I have another eraser that I'll use. It's obviously a little better than that one. And you can put those gems wherever you'd like. Let's see. I'll do one. No. Like I said, don't overthink your gem placement. Just put them on there. On this one, I did just the way my pattern worked out. I put one of the little gems as the flower center, and I did 2 gems up here. So you can place them wherever. If I had put these gems down here, I probably would have put one in the center there. So here you have our 3 cards today. Oh, that's the same one. Let's try again. All right, I'll take that envelope off so you can see the full card. And it's amazing that it's the same pack of paper, 3 completely different cards, 3 completely different looks, but we used the punch in all 3, we used the designer series paper, and we used the same stamp set. So again, thank you for joining me. It's been fun. I hope that you enjoyed the cards today. Like I said, if you place a $35 order on my website, I will send you the card kits for free. If you place a $50 order, you will get a package of the basic or the Bloomin' Pearls and the card kits. And if you place a $100 order, you will get $20 free of your choice, along with the card kits. So I will put the link for that in the post. and I will hope that you will join me. I'm going to be back on Thursday, also at 11:30 Central Time, and we're going to look at the Pick-a-Patch pumpkin set. So we'll do a little bit of fall, a little bit of Halloween on that day. So I hope that you'll join me, and I will see you all soon. Thanks.